Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sad Sangat Ji, I'm going to ask Guru Singh to read the Shabad that I've been reading, and I'm going to attempt to do Katha of that Shabad. The Shabad has an incredible theme, which is something I find really, really interesting. It's about science and physics and the universe. I'm not a physicist. If there are any physicists in the room, I apologize now. And I've asked Guru Singh to come here, because if you know anything as we go along, feel free to jump in. But I will try my best, and forgive me for any mistakes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Could you tell us the Shabad?
अनेक रहे व्यापक पूरक जात देखो it's सब गोविंद है गोविंद बिन नहीं कोई.
And I have some notes with me. It's not the Katha of the Shabad. It's just some scientific words that I couldn't remember. So I have tried to learn it. Anji.
Vaheguru Ji, Ek Oankar Satgur Prasad, Asa Bani Sri Namdev Ji Ki.
The one creator, universal Lord, by the grace of the true Guru, in Rag Asa Bani by Bhagat Namdev Ji, who was born in the 13th century.
Ek Anek Vyapak Purak.
Anji. The one and the many creations are manifest, and they permeate and pervade the entire creation.
Jat dekho tat soi.
Wherever I look, there I see Him, there I see God.
Maya chitra bachitra bimohit.
Maya, this wonderful or fascinating image or painting of Maya, is bewitching and fascinating.
Birla buja koi.
Very rare are those few of those who understand this fully.
Sab gobind hai, gobind bin nahi koi.
God is everything. God is everything. Without God, there is nothing.
Sat ek soot ek man sat sahans jaise.
As one thread contains hundreds of thousands of beads, Manji.
Ot pot prabh soi rahao.
In the same way, God is interwoven into His own creation. In fact, the main of those 4 lines we've read so far, the message that shouts out to us is that God is everywhere. God is every single thing. And I'm going to try and use science as a scaffold. Science is way behind. Gurbani is the ultimate. But science allows us to have a relative context. We can look at it and use it almost as a scaffold for our own understanding. And science has made a lot of progress, but it's nowhere near Gurbani. But it's very interesting to see how far ahead Gurbani is. Ultimately far ahead. Little glimpses. In science, there's a theory called the Big Bang Theory. Not usually. In the Big Bang Theory, the idea is that all of creation before everything existed was condensed into a tiny pinpoint. And in that was primordial conditions of incredible density and temperature, and at a point in time it exploded. Everything expanded from that single point. This is what scientists say. It expanded from the single point and then started expanding outwards, and that became the universe. Every single thing in the universe is what is in existence today. The first atoms were of hydrogen, and those combined with other gases to form helium and other dense gases. The hydrogen combined with oxygen to form water, and that water was the form for the evolution of life. That Big Bang Theory that we read about, the scientists were given the diet to each other. We've got the theory. That's from Gurbani from the very beginning. The Maharaj from the very beginning is everything and is nothing. Nothing as in everything comes back to Maharaj, and it's just Him left again. It's just Maharaj's oneness. And then with His word, at His hukum, that's the most important part. That God's expands at His hukum, and then is back to just Him again at any point. Anji.
Jal tarang arphe na budbuda, jal te pin na hoi.
There's a very important distinction. The waves of water, the foam, the bubbles, all of those things. Water is not distinct from that. It's not different from that. It's not apart from that. It may have a different appearance. It may have a different manifestation, but it's still water. It's one and the same thing. This creation, this world, this reality that you see is a playful game of Maharaj.
Bicharat aan na hoi.
Understand it, that it's not, nothing is not different from this world that he has created. He is not apart from it. I might have the transition. Would you just check that, please? Hanji. Yeah, it is not different, Hanji. It's not different from that. I'll just pause for a second. Read, have you ever heard of quantum field theory?
Yeah.
Excellent. You can jump in at any time. There's another theory from scientists that say quantum field theory, and that was, they wanted to discuss the nature of matter. They wanted to find out what is matter. Matter is things, solids, liquids, and gases. Where does it come from? Is it a wave? Is it a particle? So they created a test, and the test was they were going to fire a single electron at a target, a left and a right target. They wanted to know, would it go through the left? Would it go through the right? Would it go through both of them? Would it miss them and everything? The results, they concluded that the electron, when it was fired, it didn't behave the way they thought. It didn't go through the left. It didn't go through the right. It didn't go through both of them. It didn't go through none of them. It went through all of those combinations at the same time. That idea is called in science superposition. It's the simultaneous coexistence of all possibilities. And actually Maharaj in Gurbani talks about this at all times, lots of times. You have thousands of eyes, yet you have no eyes. You have thousands of forms, yet you have no forms. The simultaneous coexistence of all possibilities. These little glimpses of science, just tiny little glimpses into the universe, are things that are already boundlessly ahead in Gurbani that we can understand. Hanji. Sorry, did you want to add anything?
No.
Very possible. And I'm conscious of the time. I have 3-4 more minutes, we're going to finish. Hanji, go ahead. I'm a teacher, I'm very conscious of the time. Here you go.
Mithya param ar supan manorath sat padarth janya.
False doubts and dream objects, these things man believes to be true, to be real.
Sukrit mansa gur upadesi.
My guru instructs me to do good deeds. My guru instructs me to do good things.
Jagat hi man manya.
My mind, having been awoken to that idea, I must do good deeds, I must do good, has accepted this.
Kahat naam deo har ki rachna.
Bhagavad Namdev Ji says in conclusion that God's creation, God's world, God's universe, God's creation,
Dekho hriday bichari.
behold it, observe it, and embed that into your hearts.
Kat kat antar sarv nirantar.
In each and every heart, it's every person in this room, and every person beyond, in each and every heart. And the actual translation of this next part is in the nucleus of every person. That word nucleus, deep into the nucleus of every single person,
Keval ek murari.
is the one God. That idea is absolutely incredible. Gurbani, you would be a fool, and you have at least one on stage right now, to even try and understand, wasn't you? Even try to think you can understand or explain Gurbani. We can't. But it's just tantalizing. There's glimpses of science that people are catching up. There's this idea that we are one. Do you remember do good deeds? The mind that realizes this, accepts this, do good deeds. Why do good deeds? Because there is no difference between us. Today we're here to remember my Bebeji and Bapuji, and other people remember their relations, other people remember their friends, other people remember each other, and we feel far apart from each other. Even if somebody's passed and has gone, every single thing came from that pinpoint, from that big bang and exploded. It's like this incredible force of Vaheguru that spreads across luminous beings, are we? Not this crude matter. And it spreads across the entire galaxy and even the entire universe. And even if somebody dies, their energy, their light still exists in that creation. Today in the Shabbat, that river and that stream will come back and merge again. So if there's a great reason to treat everybody the same, because we are all one and the same from the Big Bang. Final theory is quantum entanglement. Entanglement is an incredible theory which says that if you were to take two identical electrons and you were to send them to the furthest part of the universe, this is what scientists discovered. Quantum field theory is an abstract theory, it's very difficult. Quantum entanglement is even further. It's about pure existence. If you separated 2 electrons and sent them to the furthest reaches of the universe, whatever you did to one electron, the other would respond immediately, even though they're separated by vast, incredible gap of space. In fact, space, that distance, is a construct. It's an illusion to create the idea of separateness. In the same way that Maya is a construct. Maya is an illusion. It's what separates us from God. It's something that we imagine to be there, but it's not there at all. So I sent him Gurmukh to that side of the room, Gursevik to that side of the room, and if you hit him on the knee, his leg would kick up. They would feel the same thing. If we all feel the same, and we all are from that one same thing, science can't even come close. But just look at those few glimpses from science telling us that we can do this. And finally, on NASA's website, it says, I looked, what's the greatest thing they want to discover? And it says there's a theory of everything. And a very smart person from NASA said, one day there'll be a theory of everything which will describe how every single thing works in the universe, from quantum particles to spiral galaxies and every single thing in between. And I laughed and I said, Houston, they have a problem. Because we already have the theory of everything. Tan Tan Sri Gurdwara Sahib Ji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.